are back with another jam-packed Lunes live. Your favorite compas got you covered with all of our NFL Week 8 takeaways. Yeah, thank you. 8 takeaways. Did Justin Herbert's new number one receiver emerge, or should they still be on the lookout? What is going on with the NFL? The Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you from Jayden Daniels ends up coming up clutch, but was there some disturbance with a certain cornerback trying to wave goodbye or trying to wave and celebrate? The Rams, are they now back in the NFC West title picture? And are the Arizona Cardinals for real after taking down the Tua Tagovailoa led
my team
Miami Dolphins? All of a sudden, the other team lost the Bears. But all right, that was the Gilberto. That was the interesting. The Gilberto Washington Commanders against the Gilberto Chicago Bears. But all right, we'll get into all of that. But all right, Gilberto, don't you have an engagement question for our viewers and or listeners?
Yes, I do, Fernando. And it's all about blunders, mistakes, dumbest moves you can make. And I'll give you one about me. I got plenty, right? I'm the guy who benched Ladd McConkey in fantasy football. And if I would have started the guy, I would have won my matchup. So there you go. But for the engagement question of the week.
What's your record?
Don't even ask me. 4-12 or some crap. I don't know. But yeah, we have people. Anyway, it's a long story. We have an extra game every week. Who made the biggest mistake of NFL Week 8 for the engagement question of the week? And I just wrote my winners and losers column at SI.com. Check it out Tuesday morning. And I couldn't believe how many losers there were in Week 8. And I put that in quotation marks. I'm not trying to be mean. But Matt Eberflus, who does not get why giving up a 13-yard pass and prevent defense led to a Hail Mary. Tyreek Stevenson, who is barking with the fans as he was supposed to box out Noah Brown for an improbable Hail Mary. Anthony Richardson, please, I'm tired. Help me tap out. Another terrible decision. And Trevon Diggs saying, you don't know football, terrible freaking reporter. Bark. I'm pissed off. Yeah, and these Trevon Diggs said that. So a lot of weird, dumb decisions, regrettable decisions in NFL Week 8, things I haven't seen in an entire football season happen on one Sunday there. So, Fernando, let me know. What do you think about these blunders here? And in the comments, let me know which was the worst, the absolute worst mistake you could have done in Week 8, like benching Ladd McConkey like I did. In the words of a compa, because he's been on the show before, friend of the show, Coach JB, bunch of shitbirds is what's going on right now. But please, man, yeah, no, just I could, or like the way Uncle Joe says it, I'm not going to repeat it, but it starts with an F, so and ends with an E, not E as in the letter E, but RY. But yeah, we'll get into all that right now. But first, let's go with the intro.
Compas. On the beat, let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah. So we're Compas.
Yeah, we are.
There you go.
Hey. There you go. Okay, all right. We got proof right there.
Some guy that seems like he's asleep. Need you to wake up, Gilbert. There's a lot of energy.
Come on, Gilbert. Let's go.
Come on. Dan and Dago is at Moe's.
I'll show you. I'll show you. I got it right.
Okay, that's it. You guys, I am done with mine, but that's couldn't get better than a 2026 6th-round pick swap for a 7-rounder. So
freaking love you, Chad.
Hey, dude. Cool, man.
Compas on the beat, man. Derwin James signing off, man. Watch Compas on the beat, man.
Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I'm Fernando Ramirez. I cover the Chargers for the Sporting Tribune. With me, as always, my co-host, my tag team partner, Gilbert Manzano, covers the NFL for Sports Illustrated. What's up, bro?
What's up, Fernando? As you know, in October, you got football, you got the World Series. But me, I'm rocking a Lakers hat because I just went to a basketball game. And
you really?
Yeah, I got a. You didn't see my Instagram.
40 hats?
Well, I was going to tell you, this is the story. I got invited to a Lakers game from the people at Visit Nayarit.travel. Yeah, Nayarit has a new partnership with Lakers, and it was pretty cool because, as you know,
what the hell do you have to do with that?
My parents are from Nayarit, so I guess there's not a lot of reporters who are from Nayarit, and somehow they found me and said, "Here, cover the event." They announced a partnership. I got a cool hat and a cool notepad, so I got to shout out Visit Nayarit.travel for being so nice to me. There you go. I random things I mentioned for the start of the show, but hey, it was a good time.
What game was it?
Lakers playing the Kings. You know what was the best part, Fernando? You know when they have these like big sponsorship announcements that you bring like a legend to do the handshaking and things like that. Robert Ory, Big Shot Bob, was a guy there at hand for Nayeli and Lakers announcement, and they were playing the Kings, and I started talking to Robert Ory, and I'm like, hey, you made that shot against the Kings, game 4, and I was like a little kid saying, how fitting is it that you're here? And he's like, dude, like I've heard that many times, but he didn't say that he was being a good guy. But yeah, pretty cool. Check out my Instagram, because it was pretty cool to see Nairi all over the place. So being there so many times as a kid, to see that Laker game was pretty surreal for me, at least.
Dan's not here, so I'll ask the question. So when's Robert Ory jumping on the show?
I don't know. I should reach out to him. He also is a compa because his wife is Mexican, so by default he's a compa, right? You have a wife that's Mexican. Also, you make big shots like that in the playoffs, you're definitely a compa. But yeah,
he didn't just make it for the Lakers. He made it for the Rockets. He made it for the Spurs.
He won 7 titles. He mentioned that he got to play in Mexico City with the Rockets. So me and Robert Ory, man, we were good friends. So good thing I met him after his career, because he would have been cursed, right? Not making the shots. So worked out there.
So why Nayarit? Like, what's the big
Come on. There's a beautiful beaches out there. It's a very good travel destination.
Okay.
It's kind of a little underrated. I know I'm going to talk like I'm biased, because that's where my parents are from, and I spend a lot of summers there.
Your mom's from there too?
Yeah, my mom and my dad. Okay. My dad lives in Tepic. That's the capital of Nayarit. My mom from a little pueblo in Nayarit called El Venado. And by the way, our good friend Anthony Lynn, he travels to Nayarit for vacation. He has a nice home in Nayarit there. So very underrated. People, talk about Puerto Vallarta, or they talk about Cancun, or what's it called? Tulum. No, go to Nayarit. There's a lot of good beaches. Not as crowded as Puerto Vallarta. Man, I went there in February, so looking somewhere to go. I'm not trying to be a sponsor head and say, go here, visit travel. What is it?
Yeah, you have the hat. You have the.
I should get it right. Visit Nayarit.travel. I'm telling you, as a person who spent many childhoods and summers and winter breaks there, it's definitely for the ceviche and the good food and the good vibes. We should do a show there one time. Compas on the beach in Nayarit.
I thought Anthony Lynn's place was in Puerto Vallarta.
Actually, good point. He has 2. Me talking to Anthony Lynn, he has mentioned to me that he likes to drive from Puerto Vallarta to other place. I think he has like a lot of fancy restaurants. Like he recommended places to me to go to in Nayarit for those like the fancy places on the beach. And maybe that's a little too high end for me.
Yeah, no, that's actually pretty fancy. Remember when we interviewed him a couple of years ago? He was like, hold on, let me go to another room. And you're like he kind of took us with him, and you could just see like it took him a bit to get up to that second room before we got started. So that was
he knows where to go. And honestly, I shouldn't be sharing too much, but I want to say Mike Shanahan was the one that told him to go down there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Mike Shanahan. Yeah, definitely interesting. And the Lakers won, right?
Yeah, that was, a vintage LeBron game. So everybody talking about the World Series and football. I'm only here going to a Laker game in October. Who am I?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I thought you'd be further down the what's it called? You'd be further down the you'd go further down in a couple weeks or whatever. I didn't know you'd go in.
I guess October. I do care at the beginning, then I stopped caring. Bronny James did not make an appearance, unfortunately for me. I didn't see that.
That's what they should have had talking to you.
I know, right? He was doing actually at the beginning of the show. One of the main people from the
did you go for the whole game, or did you like?
I left after they went up 14 points in the fourth quarter. Come on, I gotta beat traffic, man. I'm tired. But yeah, Bronny James was doing like the handshaking with the people of Nayarit on the court. So he's already being a good ambassador, because you got to find things for the guy to do. I shouldn't be mean. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. But anyways, it was a good weekend. Lakers, Freddie Freeman, getting that grand slam. We got football tonight. Or what is it? Steelers and the Giants. Who cares? Both LA teams won in the NFL. Rams and the Chargers. So good week.
Yeah. Speaking of which, obviously, did the Chargers find their number one weapon in Ladd McConkey? 6 catches. Herbert was actually 6 for 6, targeting him 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kind of seems like Herbert the last 3 weeks has kind of really put together. I know last week no touchdowns, but it seems like he's slowly starting to kind of get it together. The first 4 games of the season, only I think less than 200 yards. Now the last 3 games over 220. So what are you laughing at?
Well, one, I just realized that I forgot to change my Wi-Fi. Hopefully, the Wi-Fi holds up. And two, I'm gonna crap on the quality of opponents, but apparently, somebody else did that and got in trouble with Jim Harbaugh. So, come on, it's a freaking New Orleans Saints there. But I get what you're saying, Fernando.
But then it was your Cardinals the week before, and then it was the Broncos the week before that.
Yeah.
So
No, but it was a good win to bounce back from that ugly Monday night game. Six days later. So in a way, I get why Jim Harbaugh was a little testy because a win is a win, and also like he's a freaking head coach. He's not gonna bash the quality of opponents in the NFL. It's probably a big no unless you're Sean Payton. Sean Payton destroyed the Panthers and he was running up the score too. By the way, so I like Sean Payton for that. Like if you suck, man, and you're gonna complain about it, go do something about it. That's pretty much it.
Bill Belichick used to do that a lot when it was Tom Brady and all that. They used to they used to go run up the score on people, and people would get pissed because he was doing that. But
I'm okay with it if nobody gets hurt, I guess. But it's kind of hard to prevent that.
But what did you think of it? It seems like because Ladd has been dealing with an injury, but it seems like Sunday was his first game where he was maybe back to feeling 100%. Well, not 100. He said he had a blister on his foot after the game. He's like limping. He's like, I'm not limping. It's just a blister. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, for sure. But what did you make of his game? I still do not believe that the Chargers offense is like back and all this. Like I still saw a lot that they need to fix. They have some things they need to fix on defense as well. But overall, I mean, I guess a win is a win, and they needed a bounce back. But what were your thoughts?
Yeah, you know how last week or Tuesday we kind of were looking at the reality check of the Chargers after losing to the Cardinals. Like, yeah, you're like a middling roster. You probably won't be a Super Bowl contenders, but looking at the positive, and we kept mentioning it, like keep sticking to the road that you're on. Keep sticking to the long-term plan. And honestly, Fernando, this road could lead you to the 7th seed in the wild card in the AFC. There's so many average teams in the AFC, and like, wouldn't that be a big win to like be in a transition year and you get to make the playoffs? Like, and you'll feel better with a better salary cap. You feel better with young players getting experience in the postseason. So they're 4-3 right now, and they're the number 7 seed in the AFC right now. So you should feel good about that. And then the plays that Ladd McConkey made, like we mentioned it too, like whenever he's involved or getting like 5 to 6 targets, that tends to be better for Justin Herbert. It tends to be better for the passing attack. You tend to win more games. So keep doing what you're doing. That defense is playing lights out. It's not the most talented defense. Ladd McConkey is getting better. Herbert's going to get into a rhythm. The running game was okay. But this track that they're going on, that game was also a reality check to say what you're doing is okay. Like, it's okay to get to the 7th seed. And like you mentioned, Fernando, maybe go get a Deontay Johnson. Go get Darius Slayton. Go bring back Mike Williams, because who knows? You could be a tough number 7 seed. Like you mentioned last week, you could maybe give
you don't want to play him or play them.
Yeah, you don't want to play them because that's a tough defense with a good quarterback, with a good coach. Those are 3 ingredients right there to get a steal in the wild card. So everything that's going on this path, I like it. If you're on the path of the New Orleans Saints that can't give up on this current group, I don't like that path. I like this path right here. So the other thing I was going to say too, like I'm going to take an L here. I was praising the crap out of the Ravens, and they go lose it to the Browns. So what do the Ravens play the Chargers? You never know with those ingredients that we just mentioned. What do you play the Texans? Are kind of like whatever to me. The Bills have been a little better, so I'll give them a little love there. But and then you never know with an opponent that you know so well, the Chiefs there. So get in the dance. You have a good chance. I'm not trying to be a super positive person. That's not me, as you guys know there. But this path seems right for me for the Chargers.
Problem is that if you look at the Chiefs, they're still winning. They just got DeAndre Hopkins, and they got Uche.
Yeah,
and
that seems like way too hard, too far out. Maybe they get the number 1 seed and you get the Ravens or the Texans or the Bills. That's better.
No. What I'm saying is, like, the Chiefs keep on making moves. Like that Uche would have been a good addition for the. I think the Chargers should go get a pass rush. I mean, I know a receiver and everything, but Hunter Henry's out there now. The Patriots have basically said that they're up for selling. Hunter Henry would be interesting. They would just have to have the Patriots pay most of his contract. Who else? David Njoku after this weekend, maybe he becomes available. But the problem is the Browns they're feeling it.
Jameis Winston, man.
I know they're kind of feeling it. So if I'm the Chargers, I'm a little nervous going in there, especially because we all know how the dog pound is. But the defense had some struggles with Alvin Kamara. Olave didn't really get going until Christian Fulton kind of got hurt. So there's a little bit of a concern there with Fulton. I'll tell you one thing, Tarheeb Still and Cam Hart are actually really good finds for the Chargers. And I feel like those are the kind of cornerbacks they like. Cam Hart walloped Chris Olave in one of those. And I'm like, holy crap. And then quarterbacks get nervous throwing to him because he's so lengthy. So Evan Ingram Boltillo, he just signed a new contract extension. That's a lot of money. I don't know if
he had a great catch over 3 defenders in that Packers game.
By the way. He did. But again, Joey Bosa came out of that game limping. He leaving the locker room. It was a little shaky. The pass rush really hasn't been there the last few games. Why not go get a pass rusher? Maybe try and find somebody. I know
Jadeveon Clowney could be another one.
Clowney, his name out there.
So Darius Smith.
Yeah, that one's another good one. By the way, did you know Kyle Van Noy has like 8 sacks or something in the first?
He keeps doing that. He did it last year too.
Crazy. No, and he did it with the Chargers. Remember the 10 that season? He had like 6 or 7 sacks.
Bring him back too. How about that?
No, they're not gonna. The Ravens aren't gonna trade with them. But just, and I'm just throwing names out there, but it's gonna be. I mean, I saw somebody today say, don't be surprised if the Texans trade for Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, they need it.
I found a little surprised. They're saying that Diggs might be out for the year.
Yeah, they're really hurting at receiver right now.
Yeah, and then obviously Tank Dell hasn't been the same. So, but we'll see.
But yeah, receiver too. It's gonna be a lot of competition, but a lot of options though.
Yeah, and we still have 8 days before the trade deadline, so it's gonna be really interesting to see what shakes out. We're gonna have a Compas on the beat, obviously, with the 4 of us next Tuesday. So we'll see what trades happen. We'll react to all that.
We're waiting for the results to come in for the election too. All that should be a good show.
Oh yeah, the bunch of crap. But obviously, it's gonna be interesting. I'm really interested to see how many people are gonna move. Who's gonna go? Who's gonna go get them? Who's gonna move around? And there's a lot of big names out there. I mean, the Panthers have 3 running backs. Why wouldn't somebody move to try and go get one of those running backs?
Chuba Hubbard or the Chuba? I forget.
Yeah. Go get one of those. But I'm just saying, the Chargers, I think everything's on the table. I wouldn't be surprised if they made 3 moves. I wouldn't be surprised if they made 0 moves. I wouldn't be surprised if they made 1 move. I mean, with these guys, it's like they're dinking and dunking. The guy that said that it seems like they're about to make a move is Motor City Dan Campbell. You heard him today. He's basically saying, yeah, something's coming, man. So
it's not Max Crosby, because apparently Mark Davis keeps telling everybody it's not Max Crosby.
You're far away from winning. I would do a first and a third. I'd be like, yeah, sure. My first is going to be a 32, and then he hates Mahomes. He hates the Chiefs. Why wouldn't you bring him in here? Yeah, they're saying that Hutchinson could be back for the Super Bowl. So I mean, can you imagine on one side, the other side? That'd be interesting. Thea, I'd be surprised if Jalen Waddle got traded to the Chargers. That would be.
They just paid him too.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Who might be an
Waddle's
option?
not a number 1.
No, but another option for Miami. I know he just got hurt, but if it's not like a serious injury, is a safety, Javon Holland. He's a free agent, and they already paid too many guys. He could be an option.
Dude, if you brought him in here with Derwin and stuff, they would be that'd be a really good addition for these guys. I just wonder if they're going to end up doing. I'm just interested to see what kind of moves they make. If they go 3 moves and they're all fire sale moves where the guys can move on in the offseason, you don't have to pay them. But if you're the Chargers, really, why you don't go all in. You go make a move to like you said, make the 7th or 6th seed, try and upset a team, which, like you said, it's going to be tough playing these kinds of guys. They could easily go into Buffalo without any fear. They'll go into Baltimore without any fear. By the way, have you noticed the way Justin's playing lately?
What do you mean? Oh, with like Lyman try to get stepping on him.
No, but like he's like celebrating. He's getting up doing first down. Like he's doing all this like stuff where like all this not celebrating, but he's getting really hyped. And I'm kind of like, that's not the guy that like I'm used to.
Jim Harbaugh effect.
Yeah, no, I guess it really is. So just
One more thing on the. I know we got to move on, but the Saints, I know they're stubborn as hell, and they just re-signed Alvin Kamara, but they got so many players they could probably get a bunch of draft picks: Marshawn Lattimore, Tyrann Mathieu, Cameron Jordan. The list goes on and on. Like rebuild already. It's not gonna work with Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler, Dan Diego, or Gilberto Manzano. Like you're done. Blow it up.
if you're the Chargers, would you go get Olave if he's
Uh,
available?
he's one they might hold on because he's young, but oh hell yeah, definitely go call. Like people, you know how teams call Cooper Cup, and that was a mess. Just call.
Olave,
It doesn't hurt.
Olave would be an interesting get. Tyrann Mathieu yesterday and Herbert had two different plays where Herbert took off running and Tyrann Mathieu tried to lower his shoulder. Herbert lowered his shoulder and Herbert won that one. And then the next couple of like in the third or fourth quarter, Tyrann tried to get his revenge on Herbert. So that matchup's always been interesting because remember, he's the one that had Herbert's first career interception.
Oh yeah, that Chiefs
when he was with the Chiefs. So I think the Honey Badger on this defense would actually be really good.
A lot of options.
Calvin Ridley,
Davis, give up already.
Calvin Ridley just got paid. His contract's too big. They're not going to do that.
No one's going to bail him out.
Yeah, no. And Boltillo, T. Higgins has been hurt way too often this year. He's already been hurt twice.
But that's the point. It's just a lot of options. So they should make something.
I mean, hopefully we'll see. We'll see what they do. You were at this game. The Rams end up beating the Minnesota Vikings. First off, what locker room did you go to?
The Rams, because they won. I only visit winners. You know, that's the way I work here. And there's no curse here.
Sam Darnold obviously was not happy about the face mask. By the way, I love that story that came out. Oh, the Vikings have made inquiries about Matthew Stafford. That would have been that would be an interesting trade. And if I was Minnesota, I'd do it 10 times over.
That was a weird game. Like, you know, I know you're gonna ask me about it.
Was nuts. Like, yeah, but you had two referees watching and you supposedly missed it.
But even before that, and I'm gonna get to that, like there was just a lot of weird mind games and smoke everywhere. You know how we talk about the smoke to wood in draft season? Like I felt like somebody with the Rams, leaked, hey, people are calling us about Cooper Kupp, like to make the Vikings think they're gonna give up and wave the white flag when they weren't gonna do that. And maybe somebody from the Vikings counter and said, we're looking around for Matthew Stafford, like to make it seem like the Vikings are causing drama. It was just a lot of weird reporting coming out of this game. Reporting they got wrong. That a lot of people got wrong because Sean McVay was pissed off. And then it ends with that face mask there. And, you know, it's tough for me to kind of have an analysis there because you always want to give the team one chance, but you're backed up with an 8-point deficit, you know, not much time left there. So, but I get Vikings fans being pissed off, and hey, I'm not gonna do the victory lap, but I got to see them in person, and they lost 2 games in a row, and I'm just saying a little nosedive here.
You don't get to talk about the Vikings. By the way,
fine. I'm not
the
doing
Gilberto curse happened. He picked the Vikings. By the way, Dan last night on What's Up Bolts, he went through all your picks for SI. Every week he likes to look at your picks for SI. And he pointed out you're not the one that has the best record when it comes to
upsets.
It's Connor Moore.
I have the most though, and yes, he's kicking my ass in the department.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not picking them right, and that's why I'm gonna bash Anthony Richardson in a bit. If I got the Colts and the Cardinals right, I would have been like, yeah, I think that's a good week for me for upsets. But I take too many chances, but this week was also a reminder. It's a reminder that a lot of people thought that the Browns are going to beat up on the Ravens, and it happens in the NFL. So even the curse couldn't save the New Orleans Saints there with the Chargers there. But that was a good start to the week. The Rams beating the Vikings for an upset there, but also it's a tough turnaround. You lost to the Lions. You go on a short week to LA, but that NFC West, man, it's looking pretty nice there, Fernando. I don't know if you've seen the standings, but 3 teams tied up top. 4-4, the Cardinals, the Seahawks.
Well, even the Rams are tied. Well, like in losses,
half a game. Half a game behind. Yeah. So that was a big time victory. And then all the Cooper Kupp rumors to be put to bed there. This team, it's going to be more of a buyer than a seller. Maybe they'll trade for Tre'Davious White, but he's not doing anything. One thing, Fernando, I really want to see them get Bryce Young. Save Bryce Young, man. Just see if you could repair him too, to be a backup for Matthew Stafford.
By the way, I have a bone to pick with Tyler Dragon.
I saw him, by the way.
Oh, I did too. We were that I had that dude and Chris. So Chris Rim, Tyler, and I, like, we were having such a good time yesterday. We like forgot that there was a game.
Yeah, that was not a good
happening.
game. So I'm glad you were talking to me.
Well, no, we were talking like before we got to. So we were just talking crap and just having fun. And in one of those, Tyler's like, "Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. That quarterback rehab are the Rams, yeah, whatever." And then I was like,
49ers,
why are you sound angry? He's like, I'm not gonna lie, I actually used that in a story one time. I was like, what? I was like, I hope I got the proper credit. And then he just starts laughing. He's like, I actually did not. I'm like, you are terrible. And then he just starts laughing and he goes, I was like, I'm the one that told you that. And he's like, yeah, you actually were. I was like, exactly. I was like, but I guess this is how it goes. By the way, I am not a hater. I just see the way Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz have operated this year. They're not paying long contracts. They're not doing any of that. The guys that you guys are mentioning, they're owed a lot of money, and I just don't think that they would do it. They'd want a team to pay most of their salary. They do have to do stuff like that. And then again, the Chargers still play the Bengals. Why would you want to see T. Higgins? The Chargers still play the Titans. Why would you want to see Calvin Ridley, especially after what he did for a quarter against the Lions on Sunday? So I'm not being a hater. That's just the way I have noticed that they do. They're calling me a hater, Jorge, because they keep on throwing out names. Like Athir's like, oh, Jalen Waddle for a second round pick. I'm like, they're not gonna go get Jalen Waddle. Like, that's too expensive. So and if anything, if I'm trading a second rounder, I'd rather bring in Mr. Shitbird himself and go get Tyreek Hill. But I mean, that dude in this locker room, I think I don't think it would go well, but
what a hater, Fernando. I'm a hater.
I know.
Nando.
Yeah, no, I guess, but that's just the way that these guys do stuff. They're doing business and kind of like they're bringing not coupons, but they're coming and they're basically saying
sticking to the plan,
long-term talent, yeah, like low risk, high reward. Like you said, when they signed Christian Fulton, you and I were going to the Canelo Munguia presser. That I lost my train or I missed my train for 7 miles. It was 7 miles away and it took us an hour and 20 minutes to get there. But you said Christian Fulton is low risk, high reward. And look, Christian Fulton's been a great cornerback for them. So that's exactly what the Chargers were looking for. But all right, I'm not a hater. But God. No, I'm not drinking the Gilberto haterade. I'm just being honest.
Not a hater either. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean the Rams were impressive. I mean, when I found out that Puka Nacua was playing, I was like, oh yeah, the Rams are gonna win this game. Like that everything was pointing. Yeah, exactly, Jay Alvarez. Thank you. I was impressed with Matthew Stafford. And I thought that the way that offense was kind of picking apart the Vikings defense, and that's a crazy part. The Vikings defense was, oh, hey, like Brian Flores is a genius. Now Brian Flores looks like a moron, especially after the last couple of weeks.
Try to tell you guys.
This guy, you said 3 games. But you're no, stop, Jorge. Wait until tomorrow. That's going to be fun. And no, Jorge, we're not doing, well, I don't know. I'm not dressing up for, actually, I may have something interesting for tomorrow's show. We'll see.
I gotta think of something too.
I have a good one. I'm dressing up as a certain individual, but it'll be funny. Gilbert, you should dress up as Satan for Halloween with a pitchfork and all.
What the hell?
So you can fork teams.
I don't know. Maybe some guy with a mustache. I could be like a train robber and tie up women on the train tracks. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
And let me guess, baby oil
is
used too?
No, I didn't go. I'm not a rapper. Okay. I said a train robber.
Sure. Oh my God, Gilberto, that's actually a good one. Dress up as no,
I'll let that.
I actually could see Vic as Hellboy. That actually would be a really good.
Hey, it's actually a good one. He has a kind of the beard, yeah.
The Rams are an impressive team that I feel like could go on a run, especially if they're healthy. I agree with you, but I think what it was a motivator for the Rams. You guys may not believe this. Sean McVay is a WWE character, and I've said this to Gilbert for years. He's a WWE character. There was a rule placed that coaches could not run into the end zone and high five and do all this crap with their team. Sean McVay used to do that all the time. He's a WWE character. Listen to what he said in his press conference. What'd he say? Like, he's not a for sale, or I would hope not, or something. It's all an act to hype up the team, to get them going, to motivate them some way. At some point, players get tired of hearing a guy's voice, no matter if they're a great coach or a shitty coach or an average coach. Players get tired. Guys that have been there forever get tired of listening to a head coach, no matter if it's Bill Belichick, Sean McVay, or even Brandon Staley. Guys get tired of it. You even heard Tom Brady say, yeah, we won all these games for all these years, but sometimes I got tired of it. Yeah, no, you get that. Well, here was a way to kind of get them jump-started, get them believing again. And with the way how shitty this division's been, I'm sure Sean McVay told them, hey, you guys see that? This division is up for grabs. We can go get this. The 49ers are crap. The new Call of Duty just dropped.
Damn, really?
And then
Marvin Harrison picked it up.
It actually dropped on Friday. So I think
Marvin Harrison bailed them out, I feel like.
Yeah, but I think Kyler Murray actually did tweet after the game something about Call of Duty, like, and
that was their best passing performance.
And overall. Seattle completely Fernando on Sunday. I thought they were going to beat the Bills. I actually did think. I was like, you know what?
The biggest frauds of the NFC. I don't like them.
I'm so pissed at them. But yeah, going back to it, I think that was a good move. I think it's going to help them moving forward, and I'm interested to see what they're going to do moving forward. But I think that was a positive win for them.
Yeah, it's tough to even pick a team right now. Like, obviously, I want to lean on the Cardinals because I picked them to make the playoffs, but I didn't pick them to win the division, so that'd be a pretty surprise there. But it's all winnable. Like even for them, if they trade for an edge rusher or maybe get like some cornerback help for Jonathan Gannon, they can make some noise there. The one thing about this game, I got to see more from Kyler Murray. He tends to have one good game and then three really bad ones and then one good game. So Marvin Harrison Jr. stepped up after being criticized for kind of a lazy effort against the Chargers. So
he put Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey. Yeah, so he was making some great.
They need to move him to safety.
Like it's starting to get to that point.
Do to him what you did to Charles Woodson. Remember, Charles Woodson looked like he was done. They moved him to safety, and he was getting all these picks. He was making all these moves. So I think it's time for them to move him to safety, and especially they just paid him all that money. And now it looks
weird.
Yeah, now
that's what I'm saying.
Really
Juwan Holland could be available if you pay all this money there. But that was a good comeback for Marvin Harrison Jr. Maybe his dad had a talk with him, like, kid, even when the ball's not coming your way, you better still put in a good effort there. So that was good. And then obviously we talked about the Rams and the 49ers. The real issue with them for now, and nobody really talks about it, is the defense, because you'll get healthy when Christian McCaffrey comes back. You might get Juwan Jennings. Ricky Pearsall did look pretty good. Deebo Samuel came back. So they're okay offensively. That defense is not good. They allowed the Cowboys to come back. So if they can make a move at that deadline, they look pretty good there to win the division. But they're not on a different level than these teams. It's all very close and should be a good race at the end.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, let's go to our week 8. Yeah. NFL takes. Gilbert, I'll let you start, but let me throw something in there for you.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there that I did, and I don't think I was gonna be able to go that next play. So I just, just was saying I just needed a break right there. Man, tired. I ain't gonna
Every time I need some water, I'm going like this, Fernando. So bring me water whenever I'm tired. One thing I'm going to say about that, because there's so many things to unpack about Anthony Richardson, is I like the honesty, Anthony Richardson, but sometimes it's okay not to reveal information. Sometimes it's just dance around the question, be a politician, get fluff, but don't ever say you're retired and that's why you left the game. I get it. Wide receivers leave the game, running backs leave the game when, they're tired, but you're a quarterback. It doesn't work that way. You could talk to your coach in the headset and tell him, hey, I'm tired. All right. I can't do a Shane Steichen impression, but all right, Anthony, it's a little Southern. Let's run the ball here 3 times in a row and then catch your win there. And then, kid, stop doing so much. Like I call him a kid, but he's a massive human being, but he does way too much. And that's why he's tired. Like, stop trying to make every, scramble or whatever pocket pressure for you into some big gain there. He went off. He tossed some guy off like some kid. He went off up the right sideline. Somebody landed on his calf, and then he went like this. I'm like, did he get hurt again? And then no, he just said he was tired. Don't give that information out. I know we ask you questions, we want information, but it's a bad look, man. The teammates think you're probably not tough. Teammates think that you don't have the work ethic. Maybe you're soft. By the way, shout out to Gerald Mayo, who knows his team better than anybody else. If I call you soft, that means that you could take tough love and respond, and they beat the Jets there. So, but Anthony Richardson, the thing I was writing about before I kind of knew the context about this thing here, I was writing like, okay, he's not being accurate. He has terrible footwork. He doesn't play composed. He makes a lot of mistakes there. But you know, Greg Bishop,
all of his draft,
everything, all the intangibles, the skill set. Greg Bishop wrote a good story on Anthony Richardson. People say he's the most gifted athlete on the planet, and things like that buys you time to prove yourself. If you're going to be the coach, you can't give up on a guy with those gifts there. If you're Bryce Young, who does not have that, see you later, Bryce Young. You have nothing to offer here. Anthony Richardson does, but then your coach can't defend you when you're doing this. The coach can be like, hey, give the kid a chance. He's going to put it together. Maybe Sam Darnold, maybe Baker Mayfield. Can we all learn here? Not when you're doing this. You can't defend the guy. So now Shane Steichen is talking about benching him for Joe Flacco. Fernando, I hate it. I defend Anthony Richardson. Joe Flacco is so much better than Anthony Richardson. After this, I can't really defend him.
Dan had a good idea. He's like, he said, we'll take him off their hands. And I was like, you want Anthony Richardson? He told me today. He's like, yeah, why not? I put him at tight end, and I just started laughing. Okay. I was like,
I was wondering which position is going to pick for him. Yeah, he can do a little bit of everything.
Exactly. He's like, I would move him to tight end. He's like, can you imagine
Justin Fields in the backfield?
Yeah, he's like, well, my quarter. Oh, by the way, I was gonna say, Herbert's finally getting healthy with that leg. He's taking off running. He's doing all that other stuff. So
just watch out for those Saints players who jumping on his legs, man.
Dude, that was like Bradley Bozeman was pissed after the game.
Good on him. Like, you got to do that. Good on him.
I was like, wow. Well, I ain't gonna say what our good friend Dante said after the game or after that play happened. But that's not the first time that Richardson's hit Herbert like that. He did it when he was a member of the Jets, I think 2 years ago. So definitely interesting.
Oh, Nathan Shepard, or what was his name?
Yeah. Or last year. I can't remember what year. I would bench him. I mean, what other if you're him though, just fall to the ground and act like you're hurt. Get out for the play.
Yeah.
At least people have some damn sympathy for you. You can get out, and then you jump back up, and then you're like, oh, okay. And you show that you're tough. Remember in Ted Lasso when Obisanya falls to the ground and what's his name? Roy Kent comes over and he like shoves him and he like stay down. Yeah. He's like, and then get up and pretend to struggle and say, I'm good to go.
He didn't even give Steichen the opportunity to protect him. He didn't even tell him like, hey man, I'm tired here.
Yeah. That's all he had to do. Just fall to the ground and just get up and be like, okay, I'm okay. Like, that's all you need to do. So I was just
and by the way, Pat McAfee called it right away. He had that tweet and he blasted the kid, and he's very close with people with the Colts. So it took him some kind of like something to really annoy him to tweet that.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But all right, I'm gonna go with mine. I'll be real quick with it. Let me just find okay. Obviously, the Detroit Lions won 52-14. Your quarterback goes 12 of 15 for 85 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, that's incredible. The running backs did a lot of the work. This is how they scored touchdowns. Montgomery, 7 yards. Gibbs, 70 yards. B. Wright, 8-yard pass. I said B. Wright. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 1 yard. Sam Laporte, a 3-yard pass from David Montgomery. Punt return for a touchdown. 7-yard pass from Goff, and then a Bates 51-yard field goal.
Wow.
The Detroit Lions are starting to find different ways to win games, and I think that's what you need, and that's what you see in a Super Bowl winning team, a team that can find different ways. You've seen it with the Chiefs for the last few years. You have Tyreek Hill, you're one of the greatest offenses, and then you switch over, you get a great offensive line after you get beaten down by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You revamp your offense. Tyreek Hill, you trade him away. Here you have Juju Smith-Schuster, Travis Kelce, running backs. You do everything. You change different ways because you want to learn how to win different ways. The Detroit Lions are starting to win in different ways. I still feel like they need a trade or two to kind of cement their team. But I think moving forward, they are definitely in a class all by themselves right now. I'm very impressed with them. I'm very surprised that Jared Goff is being exactly what they need him to be. 1 week he's 15 to 15 for whatever yards, and he's the highlight. Then they turn around like a game like yesterday, and it's all the running backs that do it. So I'm just really impressed with the Detroit Lions, and I really feel like right now they're hitting the stride, but you don't want to peak yet. This is kind of a good time to maybe, I'm sorry to say, maybe take a loss and then kind of rebound from it and then kind of get hot. But as of right now, they're just playing really good football. I'm really impressed with the way they're playing.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about them. I guess maybe peaking too early because I think last year they learned a lot about themselves in that playoff run. Even the year before that, when they missed it by a game there, they had somewhat of a slow start to maybe pace themselves. I love the way, I shouldn't say I love. It's frustrating for fantasy football people, but Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell do a good job of preserving players for the long haul. That's why Jahmyr Gibbs doesn't get a lot of carries early on. It pisses off fantasy football people, but in November, December, he takes off, and now he's taking out. I think Montgomery's been dealing with some injuries there, so they have so much depth on depth. I'm with you there. They should make a move, maybe defensively. Obviously you can't get Max Crosby. Maybe you call about Jack Jones there, the cornerback. You need some help in the secondary. He's a knucklehead, but maybe when you have good coaching there and in a winning environment, maybe you turn it on. So I'm just looking for teams that have good players defensively that can help you out. Maybe a JC Horn from the Panthers could be available. So
did you see him go after Sean Payton last night?
Yeah, so he's tired of getting his butt whooped, so maybe he'll put it together for the
If I'm the Chargers,
Lions.
that's who I would go get.
Yeah, so there's a lot of players available. You can't just stand pat. And Fernando, last week I ranked the Lions number 1 on my power rankings, and I know you guys still have the Chiefs there, and I get it, they earn their respect there, but they can't score points like that. So the way that you laid it out for the offense there, I would love to see the Chiefs defense versus the Lions offense, and then they're so good they're gonna probably put 20 to 25 points on Spags defense. Can you do that if you're Patrick Mahomes? I know we're getting way ahead here with the Super Bowl, but they're number 1 for that. I saw what they did last year. They went pretty far. So
Your
maybe
first
they
round
take
draft
loss.
pick is going to be 32 anyway. What the hell do you care?
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you win a Super Bowl,
Go ahead and a second round pick, whatever. I don't care.
Go make move. JC Horn for the Lions would actually, you're right. That would actually be.
They play the really Packers this week without Malik Willis, by the way. So
he went to sleep at 1-6, and he wakes up at what 6-2 or something like that. So that would definitely.
Yeah. Hey, why is the curse gone? I want to know. But that's
no, Jorge, stop. Only one person can say if the curse is gone or not. And that is Dan and Dago. By the way,
there's no thing. I picked the Chargers this week.
He has something for you tomorrow, so that'll be interesting. Gilbert, moving on to my Washington Commanders because I picked them to beat the
blame freaking Tyreek Stevenson and Matt Eberflus.
No, did you? Future friend of the show. Did you see this, Gilbert? Watch this. Future friend of the show. This is Seth Rollins.
Oh no!
Watch this. Seth Rollins he's loving football.
I haven't seen.
He is loving football. Watch this.
Oh no! Wow.
He could not believe what happened.
He really caught him on camera. Damn.
We not Gilberto's hour. Dan calls it something else, but I won't say what he calls it. So Tyler Dragon, Chris and I were watching it on Tyler Dragon's phone, and I was cursing Jayden Daniels. I'm like, you let me down. I can't believe you did this. And he catches it, and I'm like, oh, like I couldn't believe that play. That was an incredible play. By the way, my good friend said hi to me when he walked out of the elevator. He's like, my big man. He's like, I haven't seen you in forever. Where have you been? I was like, hey, that's my guy. You know who I'm talking about.
I don't, but I gotta ask.
No, you do. Glasses, suspenders. You know who I'm talking about.
Suspenders? I don't know. Reporter, coach, or
no actor.
I don't know either.
Oh my god. Okay. Steve Urkel. All right. So
I never would have guessed that.
Okay. Look in the private chat. So obviously Jayden Daniels has been very impressive, obviously, with the way they've managed it. They're at the top of the NFC East. They beat Caleb Williams. I thought really struggled yesterday. And I mean, at the end, obviously they were able to get some things going. But what did you make of this game as a whole? I mean, it seemed like the Commanders were holding it together. By the way, I've had numerous people text me, why does he wear his hat backwards? So a lot of people are not happy with Dan Quinn's hat being backwards. But Gilbert, what was your takeaway from the game? Mine was the Washington Commanders. That's a tough place to play. And they're making it even tougher. They're a hard-nosed defense. They lost Jonathan Allen, and they're still playing tough. And their offense is really good, but they showed yesterday that they can win even the tough, gritty games. And I know a lot of people call the Hail Mary a fluke play, but that was very impressive what they were able to come away with that win on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll start with the Bears before I get to Jayden Daniels and the Commanders. And I know you mentioned that Caleb Williams didn't play well. I agree. But I think that last drive or even the last, quarter really showed me a lot about Caleb Williams, because I know people call him a diva. They don't like the hand painting, but he was tough in that drive there. He really, I think the way that Anthony Richardson lost maybe some respect from teammates, like, I don't care if you're having a beautiful game where you're getting 300 yards and you're doing everything on a flashy way. The way that Caleb Williams was keeping his eyes down the field, taking hits, putting his body on the line, a terrible offensive line. He said, "No, keep going, keep carrying me here. Or I'm going to put you on my back, run the football with his legs, throw the football with his arm." He was making whatever plays he could do. It was ugly. It was clunky. It was a terrible game for 3.5 quarters or more than that. And he got the go-ahead touchdown there. And he was pretty passionate, pretty competitive. You could tell the team liked it. Like, we earned some respect for you, Caleb Williams there. So Caleb Williams has a long way to go to become a very talented quarterback, the flashy number 1 pick that we all thought he was going to be. But in terms of toughness and getting respect, he got that. Jayden Daniels got that a long time ago. But, even with Jayden Daniels, I think, one thing people can forget that he's not RG3. I want to say he's a better passer than RG3. He's more of a pocket passer. That bomb that he did, he's always throwing bombs on the field. This guy knows how to be a quarterback first and pass it down. So that's probably maybe the last thing that I'll say in terms of people proving the doubters wrong as a quarterback. But I'm just excited for the Commanders fan. They have had crappy situations for 20, 25 years. Maybe Dan Dale doesn't want to hear that being a Chargers fan. But for the last 30 years, Dan Snyder gave them hell. It was a terrible franchise. And now they're having fun. I saw a bunch of videos, Fernando, where Commanders fans were like, "We're not done. We're not out of it." And they record themselves with the reaction. Everybody's believing because of Jayden Daniels. Like you mentioned, that's a tough environment to play. Commanders fans are talking trash to Tyreek Stevenson. So to see the way they revived this franchise after Daniel Snyder left, with new ownership, Adam Peters as GM, Dan Quinn backwards had Dan Quinn as a coach, Jayden Daniels, they all have the recipe to make this, a good franchise for many years to come. I get it, Fernando. Maybe things happen where an injury occurs. It happened to the rib injury. Maybe it becomes RG3 2.0 for the next year. But for right now, this moment, you gotta like it for Commanders fans. They've been through hell there with Dan Snyder. So to enjoy the moment and really go far, because it could be a good division there with the Eagles and the Commanders, battling out for that spot there. But I'm definitely all in on this experience here for the Commanders.
They hired him right away, and I agree with Mark here. Adam Peters, Executive of the Year. They hired him right away, and I remember that was somebody that I thought the Chargers could have, because I mean, obviously nobody knew what way. I mean, we had a inkling that they would go all in on Jim Harbaugh, but if they hadn't, Adam Peters looked like the guy that they should have gone after.
I liked his moves. They were smart.
Yeah.
He knew the roster needed a lot of help, but a lot of GMs make the dumb mistake of just spending a bunch of dumb money to bring in better talent, the Tennessee Titans, anybody. He got a lot of players who were on 1-year deals, 2-year deals, cheap contracts, just in case it doesn't go well, but they're all clicking with Dan Quinn. So yeah, I like what Mark said there.
I agree. I mean, obviously, the Bears just their offense, for some reason, it isn't clicking. It's clicked against bad teams, but when they face some of these tougher teams, it does look. And like you said, the offensive line's a huge issue, but it's also we all knew from the start. You could feel it in the air. Sure. I thought I still laugh sometimes. Joe Reedy on Sunday brought up the video of him at Disneyland asking Jim about if he had spoken with the Chargers. Like, we're here at the happiest place on earth.
Yeah, I'm here for.
Why do you want to? Yeah, exactly. It was
enjoy the moment here. This is good football.
Exactly. But I'm impressed with Jayden Daniels. Obviously, moving forward, can they beat the Eagles? Can they beat the Cowboys? That's going to be the big move when it comes to this. Shane Waldron is a fraud OC. I mean, I remember Eric Williams. As soon as that move happened, he's like, I don't like this move at all for the Chicago Bears. So since the beginning,
Matt Eberflus definitely needs a lot of questions.
By the way, if Stevenson would have done that I'll even do it now in the Chargers, like with Jim Harbaugh, John Harbaugh, any of those, like if he would have done that with an established coach, Mike Tomlin, he would have been cut today. It doesn't matter how talented he is.
Yeah, good point. Matt Eberflus better bench the guy at least.
He's not going to.
Entire game.
Oh, he apologized after the game.
Oh, no, get out of here.
And screw your apology. What the hell kind of crap is that? Like,
and then he said,
that was a terrible play.
He's not holding anybody accountable for that. And then he's not holding himself accountable for Fernando. Like, I destroyed Matt Eberflus in my story for tomorrow because he told reporters that play that went to McLaurin for 13 yards didn't matter. Like even Rex Ryan was talking crap. He talked crap about everybody, which I kind of appreciate.
Rex Ryan's trying to slowly come back into coaching.
Yeah. It's simple math. Like if you get 13 yards, you get closer for the Hail Mary. That Hail Mary got lucky off a tip pass. Imagine if you didn't play prevent defense and they were a little more backed up. Maybe that tip doesn't go into the end zone there when you're stupid. When you're knucklehead. I went too far. Quarterback is talking to the fans there. So it's just the entire game annoyed me. Matt Eberflus and Tyreek Stevenson did probably the two dumbest things I've seen in a football game in a very long time.
Like, look at him. He's like, the play's already going on. He's like, oh, hey, we're playing again. He's like, this is over.
And then Eberflus says that the box out was supposed to be his assignment. I know Brown. He was wide open on that tip.
But look, he's so far that he tries to make a play.
Oh my! He doesn't even know his assignment when he gets closer. And then Noah Brown, like gladiator style, like you're not entertained. That was awesome.
That was
I don't know. So that wasn't as good as a Stephon Diggs tossing the helmet because that was a playoff game. But that's probably maybe something that you can compare to as an improbable throw there in recent years.
By the way, there was a video. Look at it. I don't know if I should show this, but I'll do it.
Jorge, that last
this is Keenan Allen's face.
Oh,
after that play goes down.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
And that's not a face like. That's not a face of like, oh hey, like that's a face I think of. This has happened before. Like I've seen crazy stuff like this happen before. Which is so unfortunate. Keenan.
Sometimes you gotta just laugh at how stupid the situation turns out to be. Like, damn,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's just sad. Gilbert, what? I don't want to go with this. I'm gonna skip the Bengals, Dolphins, Jets stuff for tomorrow because we're gonna get into all that stuff tomorrow. We're
gonna fork some teams finally.
No, not fork. Are they alive? Or
alive dead. Halloween.
To go with Halloween style. So we're gonna.
Well, you could eat them and fork them. And
Gilberto is gonna do that tomorrow. Well, Gilberto, Dan, Vic, and I are all gonna do that. So we'll see how we differ and moving forward how that's gonna go. Gilbert, what are the realistic expectations for the Packers and the Texans? Malik Willis keeps on winning games, and I think they're playing Are they playing the Lions this weekend?
Yeah, so he might get
the start Malik Willis and just wait till Jordan Love gets healthy.
Yeah,
but what are your realistic expectations? The Texans are worrying me because they're not anywhere near what like Joe Mixon's kind of kept them in, and obviously their defense has done some good stuff, but it just feels like their defense or their offense has not done well. It seems like the Packers just keep on winning no matter who's at quarterback. But what are your expectations moving forward for both of those teams?
Well, the Packers, I keep referring to them as the most well-balanced roster in the NFL. Good offense, good defense.
By the way, McKinney made another interception yesterday.
Yeah, so he's been a stud there, and even the special team is so-so. I think the new kicker is making some kicks there, so maybe I should analyze the special teams better before I call them the best roster in the NFL. Or most well balanced. But in terms of the two big areas there, that very good defense, very good offense. But yeah, they're gonna maybe hit a snag here with Malik Willis, but he went 2-0 earlier. He had a great pass to Jayden Reed to put away the Jaguars. Again, it's the Jaguars. By the way, one of the biggest winners of the week, Fernando, Robert Saleh hanging out with Matt LaFleur, not Eberflus, Matt LaFleur as a consultant there while getting paid by Woody Johnson. That's a pretty nice job there. Hang out with your buddies and then get paid by the Jets, who are 0-3 since the firing of Robert Saleh. But I think the Packers are going to be fine, even if you lose to the Lions. They're a dangerous team. Like that, if you get to the playoffs and you're a wild card team, you don't want to see the Packers there with Jordan Love. If Jordan Love fixes his, so they beat the Cowboys, but it's the Cowboys. But if you improve the turnovers there for Jordan Love, you're going to be a dangerous out. So I feel good about them. The Texans, I'm definitely worried about. We'll see when Nico Collins comes back. If they don't have Nico Collins, this team has no chance in the playoffs. Stephon Diggs got hurt. Tank Dell hasn't really done anything. So he's gonna give the ball to Joe Mixon. But luckily for them, they're in the terrible AFC South. So I'm not too worried about them either. The playoffs are not going to come here until another 2 months here. So a lot could happen after the trade deadline. Maybe Nico Collins comes back healthier and better than before. So it could definitely turn around. That's the beautiful part about being in the AFC South. And speaking about bad divisions, the Bills are going to run away with the AFC East. There's 3 teams there with 2 wins right now. The terrible.
And this weekend, the Miami Dolphins coming to Buffalo.
Yeah, so
they could blow them out.
Call the race over there. So that's sometimes the luxury of being in a crappy division if you're handling business early on.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. That AFC East, I think that might be the first division that's called.
Maybe by Thanksgiving.
Maybe before.
Yeah.
Especially the Dolphins look good for like 2 quarters, and then in the fourth quarter, they just like completely flatlined.
Yeah.
So
everybody's like, the Dolphins are back. Yeah, hold on.
Their defense is pretty bad too. The Packers, I think, are a playoff team. The Texans, I'm still kind of teatering with. I think they're a playoff team. No, they're a playoff team, but I still don't buy them as like a real contender to knock off Kansas City. Yeah. I think they might be like last year, where maybe they win the first. See, if the Chargers had to play the Texans, I think the Chargers would beat the Texans. I mean, further along, especially if Stephon Diggs is out.
Yeah.
Tank Dell. I mean, Nico Collins is a monster, but you could do some things around them. So that's going to be interesting. And I still think the Texans are going to be able to hold off now. If it's a Joe Flacco Colts, I don't know if they'll be able to hold on against them.
It's a 2-game lead, and they got a tiebreaker right now. So that's 3 games.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson would have to. I mean, the Texans have a tough schedule moving forward. I think I saw. So that's going to be difficult. The Packers, I think, are a playoff team. They just have to. I think they have to go at least 3-3 in their division, which is going to be obviously tough. But yeah, I definitely think that both teams are a playoff team. It's just going to be how they materialize. Gilbert, last one before we head out. Is Denver for real? Mark is asking.
I don't think so. No. Maybe they'll find their way into the playoffs, but I know we're going to do the forking, Fernando, and you might annoy me with the teams you want to keep alive, but there's a lot of teams I want to just kill already. In the figuratively manner there.
No,
but
you want to kill them.
But that's the reason why there's so many. This is why we're doing the exercise, right? Because do you think the Broncos are going to hold on? No offense. Do you think the Chargers are going to hold on? Do you think the Colts are going to hold on? It's a wide open.
Are you forking the Chargers right now?
No, I'm just saying like.
Oh,
okay. It's hard for me to even fork a terrible team like the New York Jets or even the Bengals because it's wide open for the final 2 spots. I'm guessing that first number 5 seed is going to be the runner-up to the AFC North there, the Steelers or the Ravens, and you kind of call that one already. But the final 2 are wide open. You could be with 2 wins right now, and you might have a chance because the team is 4-3 with the 7th seed. So we're going to have to really think hard here who we're going to fork here because mathematically they have a strong chance. And the NFC is a lot easier. AFC is a little difficult, but to answer the question, the Mark, they're not for real. They might be pesky. They might hang around. I predicted they'll be better than 5.5 wins, like Vegas said. I would have taken the over. One of my good friends, maybe I shouldn't name him. He's going to make good money off of that. So they're a better team because Sean Payton is a good coach, but it's not like a dominant roster. It's a roster that's improving in year 2 with a good coach. That's about it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with everything. I don't think they're for real. I think Bo Nix is playing well, though. I think he's been probably one of the better rookie quarterbacks so far. So he's been impressive. All right. We appreciate everybody so much for checking out another episode of Lunes Live. We will be back tomorrow with the 4 Compas. Dan and I are changing it up Thursday. It's Halloween, so we will not be doing our preview on Thursday. We're going to be doing it on Wednesday. So make sure you guys tune in around 6:45. We may have a special guest, still waiting to hear back from that. So We'll see if he can put the gummies away and jump on with us. So it'll definitely be interesting. But yeah, definitely interesting show. All right, I gotta go because Jimmy Uso's about to come out.
Oh,
and
okay.
talk with his big brother or his twin brother Jay. So yeet. But appreciate you guys so much. Maybe we'll dress up tomorrow for the show. I have a good one for Gilberto, but I don't know if he'll do it. All right, we'll discuss it and we'll see if we do it. We appreciate you guys so much. Have a great rest of your Monday. Enjoy yeet. Enjoy your guys's the World Series. Gilberto, who do you have tonight? Yankees or the Dodgers?
No, I'm not gonna.
No,
I'm
you're
not
gonna do it.
curse
You're
the
gonna do
team.
it. Go.
I
Hurry
think
up.
the Steelers and the Giants. How about that?
He's getting in the ring. He's getting in the ring. Hurry
No,
up.
I'm not gonna make a pick. Go ahead, because I don't want to give bad
Ah,
juju
you
to it.
suck. All right. Thank you guys so
Steelers
much.
tonight, though.
Gilbert, let's get out of here.
Ahí nos vamos, pues. That doesn't work on me. Nos vamos, pues. Vámonos.